Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 172 of the Terminus podcast for the weeks of November 20th, 2021. I'm your dispatcher, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. With me, I have an engineer, Jacob Durbin, a fireman,
Hello.
TJ Sicosio, a horseman,
Hey.
my son Eastrail, or Aiden,
Oh,
And-
hi, y'all.
Kaiser as our brakeman. Welcome to the podcast, Kaiser.
Hello.
Now, you are probably going to be taking part in Locomotive Versus later. You have a lot of Royale experience. So I am interested to see how that translates over to Locomotive Versus with the contenders that you picked out.
I was going to say, you know my track record with Locomotive Royale.
Yeah, but now you only have to take out one person.
And the good thing is all points are 1 point.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can't get more than a 1. So you should be in your element. Okay, I'm glad that got a laugh because otherwise that would have been really mean. All right, we get some other stuff to talk about first, though. The train will terminate at this station.
Okay. Hello, everyone. We are in not Rhode Island. We are in Norwood, Connecticut. It is currently dark. We hope to see a train. Yeah, that's about it. Maybe we'll see a few commuter trains, hopefully.
Yeah, it's not yet Rhode Island. There was some post in the Connecticut subreddit about like taking over Rhode Island, and so I think we need to make a preemptive strike. TJ, I don't know what you think about this, but I think we need to make a preemptive strike and annex Connecticut.
Yeah, I mean, we might need to take, like, some of it.
Yeah. At least
So
half.
what I'm hearing is you guys are going to take no steps back.
Yeah, we're gonna take No Steps Back, which comes out in 2 days. I want to arrange a Hoi 4 community playdate for when No Step Back comes out, as long as it isn't a complete buggy disaster. Anyway, speaking
that's
of
gonna be
disasters, let's talk about the Class 1 Medal of Responsibility. Starting with CSX. CSX had 3. CSX is back to its old self, I think. On 11/11,
Yay.
CSX wished for no derailments, and they didn't get their wish at all. Starting with one in Kent County, not Rhode Island, some other Kent County, with, it looks like string lining some cars at a grain elevator. So, real Railroads Online moment. Then 3 days later, they had another accident, which was hitting a car on video. Some rail fan was recording, and car pulls into the crossing. The gates go down. Driver gets a little bit spooked. Goes to back up. Goes to pull forward. Inches forward, and then the train hits him. So, yeah. If the gates are going down around your vehicle, just hit the gas. Like, you might break the gate or scratch your car, but it's better than being hit by a train. Anyway. So, BNSF also had an accident that day, which was south of Montrose. There's a picture of an engine on its side. Locomotive was seen laying on its side at the scene with at least one car almost all the way in the Mississippi River, and some others partially in the water.
Just wanted to take a swim.
Yeah, so this was due to striking a barge. The barge had turned sideways in the river, and the nose of the barge was on the BNSF tracks. So
So it's like the Ever Given. But
yeah, this
with
is
the train.
yeah, this is the Ever Given turned hostile to trains.
Put it back.
Put it back. BNSF.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
we should
say-
put it back.
Like I said, thus is life in Mississippi, even if this is the river.
Yeah. So yeah, the barge went deja vu onto the train tracks. Train hit it. The crew was okay. They derailed. Let's see. Yeah, 6 cars out of 143.
That's actually pretty good for how bad the engines look.
Yeah, no, the engines are on their side. It's not great. I don't know if these were empty or full, because they're not talking about how much of a disaster it is. I'm going to assume they were empty. Oh, no, sorry. Remove any coal that may have ended up in the water. Okay, so this was a loaded coal train, as far as we can tell. That's rough.
They were trying to cancel out the chemicals that turn the frogs gay.
Yeah, exactly. And drinking coal water turns you into...
Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, thank you. Jesus.
Joe Manchin.
I was
Next...
going to say, Ellis, you forgot about the example of the real life trolley problem.
Oh, God, yeah, no, I was just about to get to this. This was the following day. So that was the 14th. On the 15th, this is a CSX accident caused by a 13-year-old throwing a switch. Yeah, so allegedly this boy threw a switch against him in the middle of the train. The 13-year-old originally... There was an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old there present, and they were found in the area and taken back to their respective guardians, and then investigating, the 13-year-old initially said, "I didn't do it," and the officer warned him that he would be charged if he lied. Then he said he didn't do it. The 11-year-old ratted the 13-year-old out, and yeah, so he then again the 13-year-old said he didn't do it, but then he said he thought it would switch the whole train. So
The trolley problem, but he was multi-track drifting.
yeah, exactly. Oh, hey, the first train on the camera. This is way better than the Dutch cam. It's a Metro North train.
Not to offend any Dutch that might be watching.
Yeah,
so
me.
Thanks.
CSX informed police that they are, quote, considering charges. But this accident happened before this, actually, but this article was posted on the 15th, so that's why it's dated the 15th. Things get more fun from there, because Union Pacific hit a tanker truck on Laughlin Air Force Base, and it exploded. So, if you want to see a train hit a truck and then a giant fireball, this is the link for you. I don't know what happened to anybody. I have no idea if anybody's okay. Okay, driver of the tanker truck was the only person injured. He was taken to the regional medical center for back and leg pains. Thank goodness. He got out after the crash. Man, I don't know. I would be out. Like, if you see that train coming, you're in a tanker truck. First of all, I would poop, and second of all, I would run. But maybe it spared him because he was inside the thing. I don't know if he actually had time to run. What were you saying, East?
I was going to say this truck driver tried to cause Lac-Megantic too.
Yeah, well, inverse Lac-Megantic with the chemicals in the truck this time.
The chemicals in the truck that turned the trains gay.
Okay. For whatever reason, that makes me think of the GIFs that you see of people in Rocket League, like, jumping their car on top of the other car and humping it. And the only question I have is, when are we getting an SD70 as a drivable car in Rocket League? Anyway.
I thought you were going to say, when are we going to get SD70s mounting each other? And I was going to bring up the two SO engines that are on top of each other.
I could actually bring up the discussion that we had in the Horseman about loading gauge earlier this week, and why we probably won't have double stack locomotives anytime soon. Anyway.
I think the Germans tried to do that in the 40s.
Why am I not surprised?
I mean, the Germans tried to do a lot of crazy things in the 40s.
Yeah, but they were also doing 3-story tall trains running on 10-foot gauge, so, you know.
They also did VA and 6,052s with 30 different type of tenders.
Yeah, well, you know, you gotta try everything. This is the future of railroading. When we actually start building the 9-foot gauge, it'll be great.
Reject monitoring, return to Brunel gauge.
Exactly. Return to Hurricane, please.
Anyway, NS the following day hit a school bus.
Oof.
Yeah, so the bus driver's in trouble. Um, the bus was stopped on Island Ford Road when it stopped at a stop sign with the rear of the bus partially hanging over the tracks. Crossing arms descended, and the rear of the bus was struck by an NS freight train. The train was unable to stop in time, surprising nobody. I just want to add that little
Please tell
addendum.
me there weren't any kids in the bus.
I don't know.
I really hope there weren't.
Conductor and engineer were the only occupants on the train. I don't care about the people on the train. Well, I do, but like
Yeah, less so than the possible children on the bus.
yeah, it doesn't. I'm not seeing if there were. Let's see. 16 students were on board. 4 were transported to the regional hospital with minor injuries. So everyone
That's good.
seems to be mostly okay. I mean, in fairness, it is a bus and it just clipped the back corner. It's going to be rough, but it's not like it got bisected by
T-boned, yeah.
by Gevos on stacks. Just what a way to go.
Yeah, I died by Gevos on stacks.
Yeah.
Gonna be a new death message in the IR mod from Minecraft.
I
Killed
want
by
that on my
Gevos.
gravestone.
Yeah. Killed by Gevos on stacks. Anyway,
Falling too hard.
there was a BNSF train that same day that derailed due to flood damage in Washington. We could talk about the floods today, but nobody picked that one. There were some pretty substantial floods over the past couple of weeks. But anyway, I will leave that be while I go and sort this out. TJ, what has been going on up at our favorite 2-foot location?
Yeah, so just a little update. A few updates actually. They've been hard at work.
As always.
First of all, yeah, as always, boxcar number 56 has been seeing some love.
Which one is that one?
It is. I don't remember if this is the original or if this is a rebuild,
Oh, okay.
but
Well, you'd hope if it needs love now, it's an original, because if they rebuild something and it needs love already.
yeah, because it looks like there are old pieces there, so I would assume it's just being rebuilt.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the original wood components. Yeah.
Oh, right. You know what? We saw this thing. This is the one that had the roof hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
We're gonna replace as little as possible. We're gonna use as much of the original wood as possible. This was a pretty impressive project.
Yeah, it's coming together.
I need to get up
Literally.
there. We need to get up there.
Also, something that's coming together, the roundhouse area.
Yeah, so this is exciting.
Yeah, the roundhouse looks like it's almost ready to have a roof. And the siding around the roundhouse is in place. They drove the golden spike last week, in the middle of last week.
The track work looks like the best track work I've ever seen in Railroads Online.
I know. I can't wait
gonna-
for the 2-foot mod because it'll look exactly like this.
Yes. Get some gravel ballast in the game first. But yeah, look at that. Putting this thing together. It's exciting.
So do
Yeah.
they like all their track like by hand, or do they have like any kind of track machines?
They have a tamper.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure it works, but they have it.
They also have a thing that like carries sections of rail,
A flat car?
like a crane sort of thing.
Oh
what
yeah, I
that's
see it in the
on.
background of this shot.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a girder bridge on a flat car.
Okay.
Yeah. But for the most part, yeah. Oh, there's Rangeley. Rangeley out and about in this set of pictures. This is super cool. Yeah, we should figure out something for the 27th if we have the opportunity
Or, I
to
mean,
get up there.
Maybe over Christmas break.
Yeah, that's also true. They're not going to stop existing.
No, I would hope they have snow too.
Oh, yes. So, track work in Railroads Online, I already mentioned. I want to jump off that to Jader. You were playing RO right before we started. I mean, TJ, so were you and I.
Yeah,
I
that
love
was
it
fun.
as just a like, hey, you want to hop on and dick around? It is the most coming together game we've had in a long time, and I very
Oh
much
yeah,
appreciate that fact.
Other than
it's it's like what we
Minecraft.
wanted from multiplayer surveyor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly what we wanted.
Now, if only we could stop derailing the porter.
Yeah, if only I could afford a better engine.
We're working on
Spoiler: it doesn't get easier with derailing.
it. Yeah, no
Well,
kidding.
I mean, well, if your track work doesn't suck,
You have to
okay.
figure out how to
So
use the track work tools, which are non-intuitive.
like for curves and stuff. I've gotten good at just freehanding it.
Even
Yeah,
with
that's
the
that's what
the
I do as well.
even with the whatchamahoo's it, the grade.
The grade, no, I use the curve tool for that.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, once
But
you have the
but
grade in
the
the
rail
right
stuff.
place, you know,
What do you mean?
once you have the grade in the right place, putting track on top of it is the easy part, right?
Oh, yeah.
Uh, just you can do some absurd things with grade. There's no height limit. You can just build like floating mountains with track on it.
Oh yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
To get to the smelter, it's just like Terrain City.
Oh my god. Okay. I'll gather up pictures here. I didn't think to do that.
I don't have any pictures of my
But
road.
I finally made it down from the sawmill, the smelter, and then 2 weeks ago, Tyler, Milky, and I built up to the iron mine, and it mostly works. Except, well, it mostly works. The line down to the smelter, I thought it turned out really cool. It's like a 3% grade most of the way until it gets to the river there, and then just follow the river pretty much the rest of the way.
Oh, river.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Don't worry, I haven't seen it either, TJ. I just know there is water somewhere.
there is, in fact, water.
Uh, yeah, my route does not follow anything. Well, it follows the ridge, I guess.
I had, like, my old line did that. Like, it went basically straight, like, it crisscrossed the valley. Like the valley, like, I guess below the smelter. It crisscrossed that a few times. And then went straight down, like, the side. That didn't work at all. Maybe I do have pictures. Hold on.
What?
Herds online. Content.
Did you go down
No.
like the east side of the valley or the west side of the valley from the iron mine?
We went down the west side, crossed over to the east side, and then came back up
Oh,
the
okay.
west side. No. I mean the east side.
Empties east, empties west.
Because I just thought about like the way it connects into the line down to the smelter. If you go the sensible route and not the crazy like loop-de-loop route that we've been working on the bacon line, it makes sense to me to use the west side of the valley, but I haven't tried to actually follow through on that.
Let me see.
But well, you look at that. What have East and Kaiser? What have you guys been doing? What have you guys been up to?
Guys, you can go first because I completely forgot I have to send like 20 images.
Oh boy.
Well, I have a couple images to send too, but good news from down south, no, East is in Florida, so I guess a little bit north. In Mississippi, the Meridian Rail Historical Society has recently acquired the Meridian Railroad Museum, which is based in the old freight depot in Meridian, Mississippi, on a 99-year lease after some
nice.
drama with the city. I will now send the picture of the building, or at least the
Oh, that's a picture of Brightline. Never mind. I just clicked on the next picture that came up because I thought it was going to be Kaiser's.
Yeah, I'm dumping my Brightline phone.
Oh God. Be careful. It'll get you. They'll get you.
Trains are in tracks they can't get you.
so
Tell Florida man that.
picture. The picture just went through. It's in between Brightline and
And Railroads
Railroads
Online.
yeah.
Ooh.
But in this picture, the building in the back right-hand corner where you see the wheel set, that's the
Another
freight
engine.
depot. In front of it is Meridian and Bigby caboose, and then 2 Pullman cars.
Mm-hmm.
Cheater.
That's the building they got. And the Meridian Rail Historical Society is also looking into the possibility of restoring the Meridian and Bigby 116, which is a 1917 Baldwin consolidation,
Ooh.
which was formerly Susquehanna, New York 116, which I will send a picture of now. It's not in very good shape. It's been sitting since 1955.
Well, that's unfortunate.
But they're thinking of restoring it both cosmetically and mechanically, and they're going to try and run it.
On the main line?
Okay, I'll bring the cement mixer.
Oh, well, yes, they are going to try and run it on the main line. They're trying to work out a deal with Norfolk Southern.
Oh.
Oh boy. Well,
Wait, like to run it like on NS or like to lease track from NS?
To run it on NS, like 611 does.
well,
Oh shit.
good luck for them. Or
Yeah,
good luck to them, but also they really should be focusing on the fixing of the engine first, because that's going to be a cool, like, $2 million probably.
The main problem with it is its current location is in a park called Highland Park. And Highland Park is, if you go to Highland Park, you have a 50% chance of getting murdered.
Oh, well, it's okay. Nobody will kill the engine.
Oh, it's already dead.
Yeah. it's
Or,
just,
I've seen worse.
They went and tested the boiler. It still holds operating pressure.
really?
Yes, really. Or it's not the original 1917 boiler. In 1936, she was reboilered after she wrecked because she rear-ended a freight train. But yeah, other than the boiler, everything else is seized.
3 away, so close. Hey, actually, important question then with regard to this. The class of engines here, what was their spread of numbers, do you know by any chance? Was there a 113?
Oh, let me look. I know 15 and 114 were consolidations, but they were slightly smaller than 116. I think 113 was a mogul, though.
Okay.
But there is a 113, and that means it can be brought to the next 113 round.
We're not doing this again. We're not.
We are going to do it. This is a PSA to everyone out there. For the first of the country royales, we're bringing only 113.
The country royale. Okay, sure. Okay, good luck organizing that. Have fun.
It's already in his work.
New York 113 was a 440, but not like an old, good-looking 440. Rather, 440 like an 1860s 440 with a 1920s boiler attached to it.
Nice.
Just actually looking at pictures of it, it looks like the small driver version of 999.
Oh, okay. Neat. Yeah, those are pretty plain looking engines, but they're not the worst things in the world. They're not like reprehensible. Jader, this is the tightest curve ever of all time.
Yeah, that's now for the record, Tyler built that.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, it'll be fine." And I trust his judgment like an idiot. So I ran up there.
He's only part of the people developing the game. Like what?
Yeah, run up there. Eureka makes it. The first 3 hopper cars make it, and then everything I don't know. 4 flat cars fell off the bridge, like off the bridge. One just had a truck come off, and then the rest of them broke away and ran pretty much all the way down the freaking hill.
Oh my god!
Jada, are you NS? Why are you putting empty loaded train?
That might have been part of the problem.
The things that RO makes you think about that no other train simulator makes you think about.
That is true.
Except for,
That
well...
Apparently not even NS thinks about it.
Yeah.
they don't think about a lot of things. I mean, that might have been part of the problem, but either way, the curb was really tight, so I decided to rebuild it, and that's the most recent picture. It's
Okay.
still mostly on a bridge,
Of
so
course.
it's kind of ridiculous, but the curve is much better. It's still a little tighter than I'd like. It's like I think 15 degrees, and a little more towards the right in front of the engine, but it works.
Well, yeah, if it works, it works. It looks a lot better now, that's for sure.
Yeah, it looks better, it works better, and then this is where I'm grateful for Tyler for doing most of the he did most of the grading for it, except for I think a couple little sections. It's a 2% grade or less all the way up.
Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah.
So managing to get the grades down on Railroads Online is one of the toughest things sometimes. Just underratedly difficult.
Oh yeah, like the picture right above the 116. That's going down to the smelter. That's a 3% grade most of the way.
I see.
Yeah, but it's a long run, but it works pretty well.
Yeah, it's fun to
That's
drive these engines.
very steep.
I see all these external pictures and stuff. I don't think I've ever used the UI, at least not on purpose. I just like to stand and operate stuff with my hands. Maybe it's from playing too much Derail Valley. But
I mean, I tried to do that too, but for switching, it's such a pain in the ass.
yeah, it's true. It definitely is.
At least in single player. If there's people with me, then yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, having a brakeman is just a godsend.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, East, you posted a lot of pictures of Brightline, and also you in a dirt biking helmet.
That is correct. I managed to not kill myself.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. I'm glad you made it back.
Yeah, but everything hurts. So going from top down, I went rail fanning back when I was in South Florida, and I accidentally met one of the fellow Florida rail fans, but we didn't say anything. Like, we know each other. We talk on Discord. We've played hours of Wartend together, and we just accidentally saw each other, and we just kind of stared at each other for a minute.
Oh no!
As a train was rolling by, and I was like, that can't be him. And then we just both walked away in opposite directions.
Oh my god!
And then he posted the same images that I took, from the same area of the same train. And I was like, maybe that was him.
No, he's just hacked you and taken your photos.
Yeah. But from a slightly different angle, because you can alternate realities. But I also went dirt biking, and I sent that pic to someone, and they said it looked like a stormtrooper.
That was my first thought.
Yeah, nice. Glad everyone thinks that. Anyways, I'm about to go ram the speedbike into a tree against some teddy bears, so I'll be right back. And then, deviating from Star Wars, I went to my college's observatory, and it's completely Star Trek themed.
This is amazing. This is one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Everything is Star Trek themed. The speakers play crew noises and stuff like that.
Please tell me they play what is that? There's a VR Star Trek, the Star Trek Bridge Crew, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they do that here.
They do everything there, and it's the entire thing is and sometimes the professor goes in dressed as Spock or someone. But fun fact, we actually control one of the telescopes in Pikes Peak in Arizona.
Really? Wait, Pikes Peak's in
Yeah,
Colorado.
not Pikes Peak. It's some peak in Arizona where they have like a lot of telescopes. Then we also have one in Chile, and we also have one in Africa, but it's currently closed due to volcanic ash. And
Oh,
Hmm.
you don't want that on a lens.
no. Yeah, no, that's
You
good
don't.
to not have that.
But yeah, it was really cool, and I'm debating taking a course in astrology. Not that
You mean
like, oh
astronomy?
my god, I'm such a Capricorn. Yeah, astronomy. They both begin with A's. It's English is confusing.
Take a course in astrology. You
Yeah.
show up to the observatory with your crystals. And you're like, so guys,
Space crystals.
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it, I can't change that picture.
F. Oh yes, that's the other thing.
What?
So if you scroll all the way up to before the rail cams,
I'm scrolling up.
I'm working. Yeah, the project in Blender.
Secret project.
Yeah, secret project that I'm going to brag about because I'm very proud of how it's going so far.
Okay, but we still can't know what it is.
No, I can tell you what it is. So, Tyler and I, but mostly myself at this moment in time, have begun working on the Enoshima line in Japan from no specific anime in general.
Uh-huh.
Mhm. You
Yeah.
obviously couldn't have told, you know. But I'm making Shichirigahama Station, and it's coming along very nicely.
That's
You
great.
know, and I'm gonna at Kavan, you know, the dem please. So yeah, I'm learning how to 3D model, and it's coming along very nicely.
I'm glad. This is cool. You're becoming among the ranks of the modelers. Just wait. Just be careful, because you might get indoctrinated by Tyler and end up having to make a Uinta engine or something.
No comment on that statement.
Anyway.
Saying as it'll happen.
Yeah, my diagram library is slowly expanding.
Oh, God.
The only
Another one.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm asking Tyler for diagrams, and he's like, I don't think I have those. So,
Press X to doubt.
no, like, he, like, genuinely doesn't have it. Because either no such diagrams exist of these things, or, it's, like, so deep in some random Japanese archive that it's like, yeah, good luck.
Or they might have been burned during the or in 45.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to make a
That-
joke about them being in an archive in Nagasaki or something, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
That,
it's essentially that would have been the case because this is just south of Tokyo, so it would have just been firebombed into the ground anyway.
Yeah.
But there's a really, I don't want to say funny pic, but like I guess ironic, of the line operating in 1908, and like the major bridge they go over, it's decorated in a battleship, and it says "Welcome, White Sea Fleet" or whatever the Americans were doing at the
Great
time.
White Fleet.
Great White Fleet, yeah. And it's like, hmm.
That aged like milk, didn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I've been doing. So Blender is fun, and I can understand why Tyler uses it to stress relief. Because it's just like you sit down, and then 2 hours have passed, and you've built a pole, but you've not thought of anything else, and it's like so nice.
Nice.
Hello?
Yeah. Sorry, I
No,
said
it's just
nice.
open.
Oh, I didn't hear
Quiet for
anything.
a second. Well, this is a great endeavor. Are you gonna? How much stuff are you gonna have to model?
There are I think it was 16 stations.
Oh, okay. They're
Let
all
me pull
different.
up the map quickly while I can talk about it. They are all different. They are a little bit. Oh, actually, let me send a real life picture of the station so it makes more sense.
Yeah, that might help. I'm showing off Jader's caboose and his new engine, but
Yeah,
I know
that was like what, almost midnight last night. Yeah, because I was on duty this past weekend, and we have to do rounds at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, midnight, and 2:30.
Jeez.
And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I could go to sleep between the 10 and 12 and the 12 and 2:30, or just stay awake. So if something happens, I can just go deal with it, and I don't have to worry about setting an alarm or anything.
hmm Did you
So,
did anything happen?
mm, not in the night, no.
Oh, okay.
But that's another thing. I can talk about that off the air.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. Not an appropriate question on my part. I'm just curious. But so you ended up lettering this caboose and unlettering this engine?
No, the engine came unlettered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I finally got it to run.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Nice.
know what really was wrong with it. Maybe something was just plugged in wrong because I unplugged the sound decoder, plugged in a regular decoder, hooked up wires to the to the tender wheels, and it worked. It's very slow, but I'm thinking because I just have a DC power pack here. I'm thinking it's the power pack just not being able to give it enough, power.
Oh, all right. Yeah, no, I've heard that. I've never dealt with that, but I'm not surprised if it just runs very slow.
Yeah, but I'm going home probably Tuesday night, maybe Wednesday morning for Thanksgiving. So hopefully, I can test it on DCC and it'll run good, and then I can letter it up, and it'll be. I think it's going to be number 15. Yeah, yeah, because the
Right.
motor was already going to be number 14.
Right. Well, I think that about rounds out this segment. We're a little bit over time, but we're doing all right.
Oof.
We have a. I know you wanted to talk about the stations. You sent the picture. Oh, you've got another.
Yeah.
Picture?
So the first picture correlates to that angle, and the second picture correlates to the other angle, which I believe is also respectively. It's the second picture correlates to the first angle,
Okay.
and you can probably figure it out.
Yeah. So here's.
There's 15 stations along the line, so we're gonna have to model each of those individually. The track is probably gonna have to be modeled because there's probably nothing like it on the DLS. There are probably some splines of like rock cliffs and rock faces that we have to model. And then finally we'll have to model the rolling stock, and that'll probably be all. Depending on how accurate you want to be, we could model storefronts and stuff that follow the line directly. Or
That'd
like
be cool.
order the line.
Because
Because
I feel like they'll make it more immersive.
yeah, and like the way the line is, it's basically if you took a 3-foot line or a Cape gauge line and built everything around it. So right before this station, there's a row of houses where it's driveway, train, door front.
Nice.
So you to
Jealous.
get to your house, you have to go and walk across the tracks to get to your door.
Nice.
And me and Tyler found an area where the mailbox is like inward facing towards the rail line. It's like, I wonder if at one point in time they had mail service on the line where the guy just hangs out of the train and puts mail in everyone's mailboxes as they go by. Because that's how close you are to the houses.
That'd be pretty cool, actually.
So yeah.
Very cool.
I'm
No,
excited. I
sending.
hope you can persevere with that. I know mega projects are always what's the word? They're always
Tedious?
draining. Yeah.
Yeah. But like here's one example where it's just like yeah.
Let me show that really quick before we move on. Meanwhile,
Go
oh,
ahead.
I see. Oh, I see. That's a little bit tricky.
Yeah. So this would probably have to be modeled as well, but that won't have to go into high detail. Like it can probably just be like a semi 3D object, but like we probably won't individually model each grill on the operating closing door or whatever.
Anyway, Kaiser, you picked out the locomotive versus, as is tradition. But first, we need to, of course, introduce the segment. Who's gonna give it a shot? It's time for. There we go.
Ow.
So let's get some pictures of these. Kaiser, what locomotive are you representing?
I am representing the Southern Railways PS4, specifically Southern 1380.
Okay, and does anyone want to represent the Great Northern Xbox One? I mean, H4.
I will. Yeah.
Okay, Jader.
Ooh.
Let me get this.
By the way, I wanted to say as an aside, for all the 113s that you want to bring east, you're going to have to mobilize the whole of the 4 foamers to clog up the Royale with 113s.
We won't just need to use the 4 foamers. We have the reach to do it.
Uh-huh.
Because there are so many 113s.
There are too many 113 fanatics in this group.
But
Okay,
there's
real
also
quick.
like one for every country.
Every-
So
Is this the right? Is this the right thing?
Yeah, that's the right one.
Okay.
Imagine if we had the entire country season be just the 113s of the world.
that would be absolutely amazing. Don't give me any
my
ideas.
Why did I say that out loud?
Oh my god, I love this one already.
You've just cursed yourself
I
now.
did, although I admit that it would be pretty funny.
See the number?
It's the 113 Royale of Royales, and it's just more 113s.
Oh god, I don't think. No, that's right. We do have a 113 making it to the Royale of Royales, don't we?
And it's probably going to win because it has broken firebox stats.
Well, that's a Wooten. It's not like people don't know how to deal with that now. I feel
No,
like it's less
but-
OP than ever before.
Yeah, but it's still the biggest firebox of significantly of a small engine compared to some of the other significantly larger engines.
That's true. Oh, good. You
And-
brought the Jolly Green Boner.
It's green 611.
Yeah.
They were green.
Oh, 611 got mentioned
Unfortunately.
earlier, and I wanted a really quick jump to the fact that it's staying in Strasbourg for its 1472.
Nice.
Of course
Wait,
it is.
really?
Yeah.
Wait.
And it's just gave it to
Has it been-
Strasbourg.
Wait, has it been in service for 15? I mean, for
I don't. It's okay.
1472 days yet?
In fairness, I don't. Well, maybe. I remember it being the inspection.
It's-
I
it's
assumed
been
it was
like-
1472.
No.
But it's been running, like, constantly at
Yeah,
Strasbourg.
but
It
wait.
says.
Okay, wait.
Okay, it's getting a serious inspection. I guess it's not a 1472, but it's under annual. Oh, it's its annual. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, like, sure we would have heard about it if it was just 1472.
Yeah, but I assume that date is coming fast because of how much 611's been running at Strasbourg.
Yeah.
It's been running like 3 days a week, I think, at least.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so here we
Almost.
go. We have the
I do have one question, Alice. Are style points the same way as in Royales? Have you adjusted the versus Royales to be the same as style points?
I haven't
system as
adjusted. Actually, believe it or
No?
not,
Okay.
versus rules I don't think are really truly codified anywhere. But no, I've never
okay.
changed that.
Oh,
Good to know.
wait a minute.
Well, I just realized something. I don't have the versus what's it called, doc.
It's
You don't need the doc, but it is linked underneath the table, the versus table here.
yes. I
Because-
believe someone else takes note of your points, right?
Yeah, I will take note of the points. You don't have to write down what the number is because it's only 2 numbers, so I don't need to compare them. Like,
Oh,
I
crap.
can memorize them. But
Okay, disregard the pictures I sent because I don't think that's the right engine. Or it's not the
No.
right class. No, it's not.
oops.
Oh.
Let me know when you find a correct picture.
Okay. 1400 number. Wait, 14. Because if this is right, 14.
I thought this was it.
I guess this is the only one I can find. But it's a brass model.
Oh, okay. It's pretty similar.
Okay.
Kaiser, is that the engine you're thinking of?
Well, yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we'll have to use this model, I suppose.
I mean, but I was going to say that model is the same as the locomotive that's just above it. It just has a slightly different tender.
Oh, are they the same thing?
Are they the same
Yeah.
model? Okay.
Oh,
I will
okay.
just use the picture of the 1355 then as a stand-in. Anyway,
Okay.
who's going to get the first point here? I'm not
I
sure.
feel like the H4 should, because apparently it's not a picture of it.
Yeah, okay. Let's let the Great Northern Boy go first.
Okay. How many were built?
Hey, look. 27.
Damn it.
Well,
20.
outstanding start.
Ooh.
1 point to the Southern Railway PS4. Go
Damn
ahead,
it.
Kaiser.
Okay. Valve gear.
Valve gear. Wait a minute. Okay.
Wall shark.
According to Steam let me look at my picture real quick.
Uh-oh.
Baker.
Okay. That's a point for Kaiser. And because you get a point, you get to go again.
Okay. And this hadn't happened to me before.
Imagine if local royales were like Jeopardy-style rules where if you get a 5 on your own stat, you automatically get to pick the next one. That could be murder.
Yeah, it would be.
Tender fuel capacity.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
19 tons. Damn.
16 tons.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wait, no, hold on.
I thought you were going to be oil, Jader.
I thought so too, but okay.
Anyway, alright, Jader, go ahead.
Maybe it was changed to oil later.
Or give me jalapeno
okay.
bites. Jalapeno poppers.
Minimum weight of rail.
They're hot.
100.
83.
83. Wow.
This thing can run on fucking twigs.
I mean, 83 is kind of a
It's
lot
heavy,
for a
but for a
Pacific.
Pacific, it's not that heavy. I'd like to see this thing stacked up against a K4, honestly. I wonder how that would go. Jader, go ahead.
Keep going. Okay, let's keep going with the theme here. What's your engine weight?
Let me see. 300,000 pounds.
Wow.
Well, that explains it. 227,000 pounds.
Wow.
Small.
That's a hefty amount of difference.
Okay, tender loaded weight.
195,600 pounds.
Oof. 148,200 pounds.
Wow.
Total engine and tender weight.
£495,600.
375,200 pounds.
This is humongous, the difference.
Alright, I'm not gonna do that. No.
So Sorry, my food just got here. I got a giant calzone. I'm just trying to
Ooh.
take pieces of it to
Of
eat.
ravioli.
Yeah, basically a huge ravioli.
I haven't had a I haven't had calzone in a long time.
Oh my god, come visit. There's a place that does delivery to 4 a.m. And, God, they've got some of the best calzones I've ever had. Anyway,
If I can find the time, I will come visit again. But soon TM.
Big E.
I don't know if I can sneak away for a weekend in the school year, but anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. Go ahead.
Okay. Driver diameter.
Drive a diameter.
73.
I got cocky. 73.
Oh my god, alright, there's a tie. The tie goes to... Well, the point doesn't go anywhere, but, Kaiser, you're now in charge.
Okay. Year built.
1909.
1923.
Ooh.
Wow. That's a point for
Okay.
Kaiser. Keep going.
Just call me Grandpa.
The Great Northern was such an interesting road for power and stuff.
Blues.
Ooh.
Okay, 32 at 5.5 inches.
40 at 5.5 inches.
Ooh, okay. I'm actually a little surprised that worked out for you. Go ahead, Kaiser.
Tubes.
Okay,
Two.
160 at 2.25 inches.
216 at 2.25 inches.
That's a lot of goddamn tubes.
Yeah. Honestly, it doesn't look that heftier, but we know how much heavier it is. Kaiser, you're still up. For all the
Firebox area.
205 square feet.
314 square feet.
Okay,
Ouch.
this is where I die.
Great area.
53.3 square feet.
70.40 square feet.
Yeah, goodbye.
The bell pair could not help you.
Okay, let's see. Evaporative heating surface.
Oh boy.
31, no, 3,100, 3,137.
3,718.
Okay.
Ouch.
Yeah. It's 8 to 5.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Superheating surface.
Uh-oh.
641 square feet.
At least you've got one.
816 square feet.
Damn.
Not 806 or 16. 860.
Ouch.
Don't worry, you still win.
By a lot.
Let's see. Combined heating surface.
3,778.
4,578.
Ugh. It's 10 to 5.
Ow.
Oh crap, my calzone's falling apart.
Boiler pressure.
Okay. What the fuck? 150.
200.
These
Yeah,
things are what?
yeah. No, I don't know, Jader. The
What? No.
I
That's
use
the
these
same
things
pressure
on
as number 3.
I use these things on Tolbrand, and they're the weakest specifics I have.
That's the same pressure as number 3, and number 3 is fucking tiny.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Kaiser, I feel like you purposely set this up for me to fail.
No, I'll be honest with you. I didn't expect to be doing this good. No,
Are you
seriously, I'm
sure
being
about
honest with you. I am not. I didn't expect to do this good because all I've heard is Southern locomotives are garbage.
Well, don't worry. I'm
I
sure
mean,
if we
Now
had
see-
room in here, I'm sure I could put the Southern up against something probably definitely 3713 and dunk on it.
I was gonna say, see, they're garbage, and then you compare it to like something like this, they're great. Compare it to like a big superpowered thing. No, because they didn't do superpower.
113.
Kaiser,
Okay.
if you did set this up, knowing your Locomotive Royale track record, I wouldn't blame you. I know you just want to win something.
I mean, I'll let you win. That's totally fine, but I'm gonna put up a fight.
I mean, I hate to bring up losing events, but just wait 4 years, Kaiser.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, don't
It's
trust
still,
the
it's still
Italian.
my turn, right?
it is
Yeah.
still your turn.
High pressure cylinders.
Wait a minute.
26 by 30.
27 by 28.
Oh,
Ooh.
that goes to a runoff. Open up the local Royale dock and punch your numbers in. We'll see where we really stand.
I think Jada might have this
I
one.
think Jader might have it too. Looking at these two engines, the 1355 cylinders look a lot bigger. I'm going to be honest.
Can you either like me, the doctor, put in the numbers?
It's linked where
Oh,
it says
wait.
local Royale.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry.
It's all right. I forgot where it was. Okay.
It's a sneaky hyperlink.
26 by 30. Okay, hold on. Oh, damn it.
27 by 28 by 2 cylinders is 32,047.
Damn it.
No one has a
Oh.
mysterious third cylinder.
And Jader, 26 by 30, 2 cylinders, 31,840. That is incredibly close. I definitely thought Jader had the edge there.
That's so close.
And now it's 12-5. That I genuinely thought that was going to be the thing that tipped the scales and let Jader take it back, but no, you eked it out. The PS4 got a little ahead. So Kaiser, it's still your turn.
Let's see. Evaporative heating surface divided by cylinder volume.
Oh, interesting.
170.12.
Mm-hmm.
200.32.
Oof.
Wow, that barely clears the 200 mark, but it's still good enough to get you the win there. Because, I mean, that was a smart call, too, considering how close you guys were in cylinder volume. It's now 13-5. And yet somehow it doesn't feel like as much of the massacre as it is.
Let's see. Same as above, but substitute firebox area for grade area.
Okay, for 35,978.
74,732.
On a side note, why do people love to start in the middle of the power computations? Is it just that
I
they
think-
see the biggest number and go for it?
I think it just died a little.
Oh,
Died a little more. Jesus Christ.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Okay. Let's see here. You want me to keep going?
I mean, you have to call at least one more stat before we go to style points.
Okay, then.
Jader is a broken man.
I'm just
Let's
fucking
see if I
tired.
can find something that
I was up
might...
till like 3 in the morning. I'm fucking tired.
Okay, right. This one you might actually win, but it doesn't matter if you do. I don't think. Factor of adhesion.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Right thing. 4.23.
3.79.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Wait,
Wait a minute.
you said
I
4.23? I think the PS4
Yeah.
just wins that by 0.02.
No.
It's 5-15. Kaiser, you can keep going as much as you want, or you have the option to go to style points now.
I'll call one more.
Okay.
One more.
Lumos.
Go on.
Tender water capacity.
Oh boy.
10,000 gallons.
12,000 gallons.
Oh my god. That's
Okay.
actually, again, closer than I expected. You see these mainline engines with tiny tenders. And I'm not even specifically talking about the Rio Grande, although sometimes I am. And you just wonder, like, how far did they really expect to go with these things? You know, maybe I'm overestimating the coal and water consumption of, like, a mainline Pacific, but... Also, maybe my views are biased because I expect Pennsylvania coast to coast on everything. But it just seems like the southern thing has a good sized tender. It's giant and square, but it's good.
Well, no. I found a... Sorry to interrupt you, but I found a picture of a model of it from the top-down view. And, no, it's a regular southern six-axle tender. It just has streamlining side plates on it.
Well, fair enough. But I think my point is it's a longer tender, and then
Yeah.
the Great Northern thing has just like this tiny little tender. I don't know.
Well, for some reason for me, though, is that he had more coal in his tender than I did. Then again, he's burning that bad quality, Montana coal.
It's also really tall. Like, yours is a regular tender with some shrouding on it, and his is like a weirdly tall bucket. Yeah. It doesn't even look right on the model. The model doesn't do it justice. It's been embiggened.
I think the proper term is erect.
Sure.
Anyway,
Anyway, we all get one judge's choice. So
we'll talk about the Great Northern Avocados at some point, though.
Great Northern was a strange railroad. I would ask Builder.
Okay. Baldwin.
Nice.
Alco.
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah, there's a point for Jader. I honestly didn't know. I was looking at these guys going, yeah, I can't tell.
But if it
hang on. Can I ask one if nobody does it?
You can ask one of your compatriots to ask one.
Can somebody ask Loco Base ID?
That's exactly what I was going to ask.
Okay.
I assume the southern guy is lower, because I've never seen this GN thing before. But also the local base ID is funky, and all of the 2-foot in the world exist in the 900s, so...
They just wanted a
Local base
2-foot
ID.
kick, I get it.
Okay. 146.
Wow.
167.
Let's go.
Slightly better. Those are both really low, though. TJ, do you have one?
Fucking go.
I was gonna say local base ID, but
Let's fucking go.
did we do minimum weight of rail?
They did do minimum order
Yeah.
rail.
We did that.
Shit. I was making food for part of the verses, so
That's fair. My food got delivered right at the beginning of Locomotive Versus, and I was like, this is a terrible time for this to happen.
yeah, I was using the air fryer and it was cutting in and out, so I must have missed that one.
Based air fryer.
I want an air fryer. I used to have an air fryer. Then
My mom
Well-
has like a legit ass air fryer. Like you can choose the temperature, like you can choose like the setting and shit. This one is just like locked at a temperature, and you just put stuff in and turn the timer on and hope for the best.
so it's like a budget air fryer.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I was
works.
moving stuff out of my mom's earlier, and she's like, "Do you want this?" I bought it and I never used it. And I'm like, "What is it?" Because I'm looking at like her rack of kitchen appliances, and I really want a toaster oven. I feel like toaster ovens are really underrated. And she pulls out a pressure cooker, like an Instant Pot pressure cooker.
Ooh.
And I go, "Sure." I mean, I have no idea how to use it, but sure, yeah, I'll take it.
Figure it out if you have
Yeah.
one.
I went to Gloria. I was like, "Have you ever wanted an Instant Pot pressure cooker?" And she goes, I don't know what that is. And I go, well, Merry Christmas. Here you
All
go.
right. Well, speaking of Christmas, here's my gift to you guys. Builder.
I
I was
just did
already
that one.
asked.
I just,
Ah, year.
that was so good. We did year.
We did your.
Oh my God, I'm really striking out here.
Tractive effort was
I
that
literally
asked?
do this
Tractive
every
effort was
time.
not asked.
All right, do that one. Tractive effort. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
a good one. Man, I'm so glad I thought of that.
Okay. 35,421 pounds.
My mind's drawing a blank. I'm trying to find tractive effort.
It's like in the middle.
Control F.
Probably higher than mine.
Okay.
I mean,
It's not on the sheet
I
itself.
found it. 47,535.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, considering the higher boiler pressure and higher weight and the same size of drivers, yeah, that was a almost guaranteed win for the PS4. But Jed, you got any style points you want to rattle off? Because you're way down.
Alpair.
We've never used that as a style point, unfortunately. As much as I would like it to be, standards bias. But you ran on
sure.
multiple fuels, at least as far as I could tell.
Did you have? Okay, wait. Did the PS4s have doors?
Did you have doors? You have like slanty fronts.
I have door.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see.
I think it may be just on the fireman's side.
I don't know. Did
door.
the PS4s have doors at the front of their cabs, Kaiser?
I know the unstreamlined one did, or actually, yes, they do. Because
Okay.
I'm looking at a picture right now of one that has the door open.
Oh, well, that would be a giveaway, yeah.
Damn it.
Okay. What else have we got? PS4. What was that? How many of you guys survive?
I think one.
I mean, you have at least one. You have 1355. Is a PS4 the Pacific that's in the Smithsonian?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Well, that's a wash.
there's one.
Well, let's see.
Like, good thing.
Kaiser, what have you got for style points?
Let's see. Streamline.
Yep.
Paint point.
Well, you were both green.
Well, no, I'm talking about the gold and everything, too. It's not just green.
Yeah.
I mean,
The gold, the chrome, all that.
I think
half
that's
a
fair.
point. Half a point.
I'll hang on to that half a point in case we find another half a point to give.
Okay. Worthington feed water heater.
Yeah, Jader, you don't strike me as one who has a feed water heater.
Probably not.
Yeah. That's a shame.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. These are very simple engines. I like the Great Northern engines a lot, but they don't have a ton of things
The
going
weak
for them.
sauce.
Certainly not over
Oh.
something that's 20 years newer than them.
This specific locomotive pulled a named train,
Which was?
the Tennessean.
I feel
Yeah,
like
okay.
most locomotive that can be the other half of a point, I'd say.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I mean, the Pacific also probably at one point in its history pulled a name train.
Yeah. But might not have been streamlined for it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sure these pulled plenty of name trains. I mean, where were these guys used? I don't know anything about the
Well,
Great Northern
these specific,
engines.
or the Great Northern ones, I was going to say, I could name off several trains that the PS4's pulled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Great Northern boys were probably used on the Great Northern.
Whoa, really?
Oh, gee, thanks.
So in
You're
England?
welcome.
Insightful.
Exactly, in England, yeah. These
Yeah.
these guys, the loading gauge fit them perfectly.
It's funny because I made an opposite joke of that during the last Royale. Anyway,
Proceeds to throw a blank at what the joke was.
it was just it was a Great Northern, like a British Great Northern engine, and I said they operated in the Pacific Northwest.
And the other PRR engine.
Yeah, that one I did not make any standards jokes about, which was kind of a missed opportunity.
Shame.
You guys got anything else for me?
I was going to see if I could find something.
I mean, it's not
real
like
quick.
this is going to
I don't
tip the
think you
balance
need
right
anything
now.
else. Yeah.
I know, but
Stop,
Ooh,
he's already dead.
The corpse
trains
is
model.
mutilated.
What?
He didn't even get to the double digit.
Trains model.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, these both have a trains model.
And they both have or I was going to say, I think they both have a real life model, too.
I would assume so. I mean, we know there's a real-life model of the Great Northern thing.
Oh, yeah, there's also a brass model of the Southern, or it's by the same company, too.
Huh.
Brass models of a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, I think we're there. I'm going to just say, I'm just
It's a
going to
brass
cut it
model
off.
of me.
Yeah, stop.
20
stop,
to
I'm
8.
already dead.
But I'm going to vote for the Great Northern thing. Because I like it.
Me too.
Me too. I do.
Wow.
I said this engine is at the very beginning, I said this is a very nice engine, aside from the headlight. Oh wait, the Great
the
Northern thing has a
headlight's the best
stack
part.
cap. I mean, it doesn't make a difference, but it has a stack cap.
The headlight's the best part of that engine.
The headlight is weird. It's
Yeah.
somehow marginally better than a Reading headlight, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's not Reading.
Maybe because it's green instead of blue. Also, it'd be cool if the tender and the cab were also green, but I think that's just specific to...
I don't know. I think I like the tasteful use of green on these engines. I think it was a very well done
Southern
paint
green.
scheme.
Southern green is best green.
No,
Based.
no.
Are we gonna talk about Nevada Northern 81's green?
I forget that that's also green. You know what definitely isn't the best green, and I
Nice.
know I shouldn't be saying this because I'm a Pensy nut, and therefore Baldwin is the most based thing imaginable. But Baldwin 26 is green. I'm not into it. I don't like it.
Oh, I love that green.
No. I'll say I'm into Brunswick green, though, because I do very much like the color black.
No, I found the worst color green. If the picture will load, I'll send it to y'all. So y'all can see the true worst shade of green.
I mean, if you're Jerry Day, every shade is the worst shade of green. I'm pretty sure anyway. So let's move on to discussion topics while that loads. I'm going to save, TJ, probably save yours for last, because I feel like that's the thing we can vamp on a little bit.
So I know I won, but does your vote count?
The score and the votes are counted differently. So you won by the points and lost by the votes.
Oh.
Like an election.
well, yes, but actually no.
Anyways, as a complete aside
Jesus
from everything,
Christ,
I just
Kaiser.
like.
Go ahead, Beast.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah, right? What is this?
This is Florida too, so
Yeah, boy,
No.
let's go. It's almost
Let's-
as bad as the Colombian thing was from the Royale.
We call this the Crocodile Road.
She was not born one morning on a hot Florida summer back in.
Holy crap!
Whatever.
The Providence Worcester is going by on the cam right now
Whoa.
with 5 units and presumably stone, probably.
Ooh.
There's the stone train. That's cool. I've never seen this guy on the move.
Oh,
First time
there
for
it goes.
everything.
I didn't know they were still running the stone train. That was a lot of engines on the front of this train.
Well,
Anyway,
it's usually the longest train, I think.
yeah, by a margin. Except when they have ethanol extras.
Also, rock is heavy.
Rock is heavy. Yes.
Yeah.
Really rocks.
And they have to too.
Yeah. The New Haven, the shoreline was surprisingly hilly. Like, you'd expect it to be dead flat, but it's not. And the shoreline of the Gulf Coast is the site of a gigantic political mudslinging fest, I guess. Uh, Many
As
of
always.
us listen. You guys know that Amtrak has been trying to bring back this Gulf Coast service, right?
The one that goes through Mobile, or
Yeah.
went through Mobile,
Yeah.
that ended up in that swamp.
Yes. Yeah, that one.
I remember when that happened.
So it'd go from Louisiana. So it'd go from New Orleans through a bunch of stations in Louisiana, Mississippi, and into Alabama, ending at Mobile. And there are. Oh, this is marking off all of the movable bridges. There are like a dozen movable bridges along the route, including the one that was the site of the Sunset wreck that you were talking about. But CSX and NS are doing an incredible job of trying to get this thing shut down before it starts. Amtrak is pushing as much as they can to get this going, mostly because, it's been absent since 2005. And CSX and NS, this is their quote. Passenger service would, quote, devastate freight operations. They say that Amtrak needs to build more than 23 miles of track, and the Alabama Port Railroad also opposes the passenger thing. They say it would cause a systematic failure in their ability to provide freight service.
Bunch of shit.
It's insane.
I would say, considering certain parts of the track or certain parts of that line are single track, or at least they were, having to essentially bunny hop freight and passenger trains, for one, would make Amtrak trains slower than they already are.
Well,
and would also kill freight traffic.
Yeah, but a slow train is better than no train. But also, really, guys, you're running that bare to the bone on this line that you
That
can't
they were
support,
trying
like,
to sell.
2 more trains a day. This is not the first time they've pulled this stuff, too. And I'm not saying that they wouldn't have trouble accommodating Amtrak trains, because, yeah, they would have to work around them. But I know they're fully capable of doing that. And this is not the first time that CSX and NS have cultured BS in order to make, in order to keep Amtrak from doing what Amtrak wants.
Oh, Heritage Unit!
Oh,
I
there it
could
is.
I have heard of NS doing
You see the
stuff like
Heritage
that.
Unit?
I used to be very good friends with an NS engineer. The track that the Crescent runs on into Meridian, Mississippi is a single track. So this is not the first time, now that I think of it.
Yeah, well, the thing that comes to mind
Is that
is
a
the
Capcom?
reason why Amtrak is so pissed at the Pan Am merger proposal, because they don't want to deal with more of CSX's crap. Because they wanted to run a seasonal train from New York City through Albany and into Pittsfield, Massachusetts. So it would be like a fall flyer that it would run up to Albany and then across the B&A where the Lakeshore Limited currently runs. It would be 2 trains a day, so 1 round trip, right? And CSX said, absolutely not, we cannot do that. The line is at capacity. We can't put any more trains on it. Meanwhile, literally, not even a year later, or, within the very same time frame, they're making this deal with NS for, to take over Pan Am, involving moving NS's intermodal traffic onto the Boston and Albany line, the very same line in question, 2 trains a day, 2 additional trains a day. And they're totally fine with that. But they're not fine with Amtrak adding the same number of trains.
They don't really make the same amount of money off Amtrak as they make off freight, do they?
Right, but the question wasn't you're not paying us enough, it was, sorry, we don't have room for 2 more trains on this track. Which, as someone who's rail-fanned State Line Tunnel, they totally have enough room. It's not that busy. It's busy, but it's not that busy. Most of the train traffic is, like, at 3 in the morning. But this is, like, they've been studying this corridor to death over the past 15, 16 years, and apparently the FRA has been stymied by the Class 1s because they say, sorry, we can't get our hands on all the data we need to make this conclusion. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that sort of tells me CSX and NS may not be letting them get their hands on this data because it would not help their point. Meanwhile, Amtrak is like begging the FRA to expedite the hearing on making this happen. So, yeah.
Wow, another one.
It's insanity. It is. I recommend everyone read through these because it really does seem like them just talking up how detrimental this might be. When it would.
Bless you.
Thank you.
It would blow my mind if it was really that congested and CSX and NS are not doing anything to mitigate that right now. You know? Think about it. If this line was at capacity, they would probably be doing track work like mad. You know? And no, they're just waiting to see if they can get some more money out of Amtrak for infrastructure improvements. Oh, sorry, it's 4 daily trains, not 2. That's so much worse. I mean, does anybody have an opinion on this? It's supposed to be a discussion. I've just been ranting.
Sorry, I'm just
Well,
really
I mean,
frustrated. I'm just
I have
really
my
frustrated.
opinion, but y'all don't agree with it.
Well, no, I mean that's part of it. I see what you're saying. I just don't think that the conditions are
Well, you
that
also
bad.
have,
I don't think they could be.
in particular, with the Gulf Coast thing. All those bridges, like all those interlocking, moving bridges and all that, drawbridges, center, swing bridges, all that. I don't think NS wants to. I think they don't want to pay more money to maintain those bridges to a standard in which they could have more trains run over them.
Yeah.
In other words, I think they maintain them just enough to handle what trains they're running currently, and they aren't maintaining them any more than that amount. Meaning they don't want Amtrak running trains on them because that means they would have to pay more money to have those bridges brought up to a standard that could handle 4 or 5 more trains than usual.
Yeah.
Pull a CSX and sue a 13-year-old.
Well, I feel like if that's the conversation that needs to have, that's the conversation they should be having, you know? Currently, I could understand a lot more if their argument was, hey, listen, let's work together to figure out how to run these trains, but they're saying, hey, this is going to be a catastrophic disaster if you try to run these trains.
Well, I've also seen happenings of this is going to be a catastrophic disaster if you run these trains, and they ignore it, and it happens. Because back in 2007, on the Meridian and Bigby River Railroad, which is a short line, CSX wanted to use it to get to Meridian to interchange with KCS. This was before the NS-KCS deal. Anyway, they were running trains on there, and Meridian Bigby told them, do not run 6-axle units on our track. And CSX listened. Now, a couple years later, actually it was a little bit before, in 2007 is when the incident happened. A couple years later, NASA comes through with a train loaded with rocket boosters.
Oh my god.
Leaded by 2 6-axle SD-70s. they got to a certain point, and a bridge collapsed underneath them.
Oh my god.
Ooh. Oh,
No
wait,
one was hurt, but
is that
it was
the
in
picture?
Pennington, Alabama, or just across the river from Pennington.
No, this picture is the Sunset Limited wreck.
No, not that one. The one with like the two UPNs like just dead.
Yeah, that's
basically. That one.
That one.
Oh.
That's an example, at least in my knowledge, of them saying, or essentially the railroad telling somebody that, or a railroad telling somebody who doesn't usually run on their trackage, or at least in that area, do not run whatever on here, or something catastrophic will happen. And then when you ignore that, that's why I was thinking of the bridge thing as well, because, there's always a reason. It could be more money, it could be they don't want to maintain the bridges to handle that amount of trains. Or either way, it's still they want more money. But for different reasons.
No, and in fairness, they do give a sum of, hey, we need about $450 million to do the improvements here. But they gave a report 4 years ago that called for double track improvements on both sides of bridges and other improvements totaling about $2.2 billion. And a lot of that has to do with the movable bridges, particularly the coordination between ships and trains. But there's going to be a hearing on these things. It just doesn't strike me as it being, Amtrak trains are not the biggest and heaviest trains that this line is going to see or will ever see. They're 4-axle units anyway, to use that example. There's nothing extraordinary about an Amtrak train, I fail to see how this line could be in such a state, especially considering it was basically rebuilt from the ground up 15 years ago. Excuse me. So, and my other point is that CSX has been continuously shifty on this before, on dealings with Amtrak. So, I don't necessarily trust them right off. When it comes to a short line in their own track versus CSX, yeah, I would absolutely err on the side of the short line saying, hey, no, you're going to break stuff if you do this. But them saying we can't support more trains, and then having a living example of them doing the exact same thing, but totally being able to support more trains, just because the deal is different. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Are there situations where this could be a problem? Yeah, but I don't know if right here is one of them. Also, on the backs of 15 years of studying this thing, I don't know. You figured it'd have this all worked out by now.
And if you think about it, though,
give me Amtrak.
NS has always hated Amtrak. Even when they were Southern, they always hated Amtrak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the Class 1s all do. That's why they shaft it every chance they can get. They're never gonna like it, but they have to learn to deal, which is why, in my opinion, it's good that the FRA has been given some more teeth to deal with Class 1s preventing Amtrak from doing their own thing, from doing Amtrak things.
What I think of, though, is what's going to happen one day. May not be in our lifetimes, but what's going to happen one day when one of these Class 1s starts running passenger trains again so they don't have to deal with Amtrak.
Hey, that would be great.
That'll be a sight to behold.
I don't think that would ever happen.
See that.
Yeah, that would
I can't
be
wait for
stunning.
CSX to run the Tennessean. Yeah, that's a train that. No, I guess it would have formed into Norfolk Southern.
Or thinking of NS running the Crescent, though.
Union Pacific running all of the original trains because they're still Union Pacific. Can't wait for the city of LA to just be GVOs on passenger cars, except the stacks are like individual private rooms.
I mean, it would be wonderful. Just, the reason that Class 1s don't do that now isn't because Amtrak exists. Amtrak exists because the Class 1s won't do that right now.
Right now, that is.
Yeah, well, I
I think we should just go the other way and nationalize all the freight railroads, Conrail style.
big Conrail.
We'll-
You've heard of
we'll
Conrail,
talk
get
about
ready
that.
for Conrail 2.
The entire nation boogaloo.
And also Canada and Mexico.
Yes, I can't wait to form the Cum Railroad.
I knew that was coming.
But ting.
But
I could make a joke here about how the way to solve us having multi-country railroads is to essentially invade our neighbors to make it part of us.
I remember this part of Fallout lore. You solve border crossings if you don't have any borders. Chap's forehead.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
the border.
Yeah, take
Big
the
Britain.
Monroe Doctrine to the next step and just take over the entirety of South and Central America.
Yeah.
You do realize that you're joking about this with someone whose name is Kaiser.
Yeah, wait, hold up. Where's this telegram
Hold
going
up.
to Mexico? What does it say?
Mexico should invade, and they're going to invade via the Baja Railroad. The Baja California Impossible Railroad.
No,
Yeah,
they're
they're
gonna
gonna-
invade via Ferromex.
Yo, so it's like a plant-based railroad?
Yeah, exactly. East, tell us about the plant-based railroad.
Okay, so your sugar is running up.
No, wait a minute.
I wonder if I should go see 148 because I
Do
think
it.
they're running
Do it.
this.
Steam
Okay,
good.
guys, we're going on a trip right now on the podcast.
Yeah, let's go.
Let me see.
I'd love to do a podcast like on the train someday, but
We need to have a long railroad trip for that.
Just take the Empire Builder, except it's actually something with two. But take the auto train.
In 2 years, when we do the Colorado trip, and we do a podcast from the open air car of the Cumbres and Toltec.
Or we do a podcast from inside the cab of 20 where Y just takes everyone in circles.
Anyway, so
Um,
the desert line is another one of our discussion topics here. I know there's probably not going to be too much to say about other than, wow, that's a really cool trestle. But
wow, that's a lot of desert.
yeah, it is. There's a lot of desert.
Not as deserty as the railway line in Peru. However, abandoned in 2018, people are looking to reopen the line for probably the 11th time now.
Yeah, I feel like we talk about this about twice a year, but every time it comes up, I go, "Ooh, we got to talk about this. This is exciting." Or sorry, 2008. It was shut down in 2008.
Yeah.
Looking at this,
so-
though, this just reminds me of Desert Saluda, but on the side of a mountain.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. This is Railroads Online in real life.
The Baja
In the desert.
Baja California Railroad is owned by a boxing promoter
It's
What?
actually Baja
from
Blast Road.
Tijuana.
That's fantastic. But this is a hell of a... I mean, it's a hell of a railroad. It's called the Impossible Railroad. It's...
Yeah, I mean, it can't be that impossible. It ran trains for 100 years.
Yeah. It's...
Yeah, but I wouldn't trust some of these bridges to hold up anything modern.
I mean, again, they were operating in 2008. So, in technicality, you could have run Gevos on stacks on this.
But
sure.
who is going to run Gevos on stacks, on trestles, and track that looks like if you kick a pebble wrong, it'll slide off the mountainside?
apparently a
Have you
boxing
played
promoter.
RO?
No, but in seriousness, the utility of the desert line, if I'm remembering right, it's mostly due to getting more traffic in and out of the ports in San Diego and Los Angeles.
No, why would we need to get
So
more
it would be
traffic out of the
cheaper.
ports? It's not like there's a backlog of ships or something,
Yeah.
right? Anyway, the thing I ordered 17 months ago still isn't here. It's still apparently off the coast of California.
Yeah,
Um,
but you have to run a train down the blue line in San Diego, which I assume that's heavy rail. I would hope it's heavy rail.
Devo's on stacks, but it's trams on like little 2-axle British stock.
Yeah, and I mean, then you don't have to worry about the weight concern.
No, it's just like a pannier pulling like 20 like little 2-axle flat cars with just like 20-foot containers on them.
See, I feel like that would almost be practical though.
I like how the open railway map shows the crane tracks at General Dynamics in San Diego. Because that's what I need to be looking at right now. No, the desert line ties into the south end of the blue line in basically just over the border from Tijuana, and goes in. It just turns into spaghetti. It just starts wobbling its way through Mexico and then crosses the border back into the United States, and then almost touches the border again, and then starts this just basically like a tunnel district of just a ton of little tunnels, a bunch of big tunnels, and one massive wooden trestle and a bunch of small wooden trestles.
Specifically 17 tunnels and 57 bridges.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot. This is
I'm
crazy.
looking at this. There's a picture on the article of this dude standing on the track bed, and he's got this massive pile of rock in front of him.
Yeah, there was a slight collapse.
Yeah, a very, very minor collapse.
There's a lot of damage.
Apparently SD40 is going to run.
Looking at this tunnel, though, I don't see any like internal support, which gives me the impression that this was never. I guess they'd never used rock bolts or anything.
No.
Like even when it was run in like the 2000s, they never used, or in the 90s and 2000s, they never went in and put in rock bolts or anything to hold the roof up.
No, it's just all rock. It's just all solid rock cut tunnels. And believe it or not, this may surprise you, but tunnel collapses have been a recurring problem on this railroad since its inception. There are...
Well, I mean, looking at it, it doesn't look like it's very solid rock, does it?
No.
No.
Like, I can tell by looking at it, that's like sandstone. You heat that stuff up from like locomotive exhaust, it'll crack and crumble.
Yeah, the Goat Canyon Trestle, the really impressive trestle bridge, only exists because of a tunnel collapse.
So Kaiser saying earlier that nothing modern could run on it. The top picture is a trio of, I believe, GP60s.
Oh my lord!
Oh my
And
god.
that's at Goat Canyon.
Jeeps.
Wow.
Yeah,
They're
and
gonna take your Jeeps, try and run like an SD70 on there or something.
I mean, I'm sure that it would only come down to the axle load, the weight on each independent axle.
And of course, that was in 2008 too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but SD70s were around in 2008, I think.
can still use this power.
2000.
Yeah, you can also still use GP60s.
You could just
yeah.
return to tradition and run like little Jeeps and shit, like GP.
Yeah, like the GP9 with the singular Amtrak car going over the bridge.
Yeah.
They should return to tradition and run steam. That's what they should do.
Short trains you could model.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
Thank you.
Hold on, I'm going to show the audience short trains Kavan can model on the Goat Canyon Trestle.
In all of like 10 pixels.
Yeah, exactly. Lafayette's being really whiny, and I don't know why. But
Would you look at
Some
the
glorious
thumbnail of that
SP.
picture, though, isn't that bad? But you click on it and enlarge it, it's worse.
yeah, I know it looks fine as a thumbnail. All right. Hold on. You can lay down on the couch.
I also like the number of abandoned rail cars that are on this line. Like, there's 3 coaches, there's a bunch of gallery cars,
Oh
there's
yeah,
a couple of tank cars.
This railroad is the ultimate. It broke, so we left it there and went around it. Which is again how half of the railroad exists. There are 2 tunnels that once exist that are marked on the map as abandoned because they totally collapsed. And the railroad went, well, we're not fixing that, and just went around them.
But heading back to the actual article, the company that bought the line in 2017, that has made little to no headway, said they are still looking. They have not given up and are still looking for an operator and construction partner that would be able to make the project work.
Hmm.
Then they
Yeah.
go into some details about how it was built and when it was abandoned, and the resurrection that happened a while ago,
Yeah.
but repeated by fires, floods, and cave-ins.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, Kaiser, you're bringing up a lot of good reasons as to why this doesn't work. It is called the Impossible Railroad, after all. Uh, whoever decides that they're going to be the next operators of this railroad is going to have deep pockets and balls of steel. That much I know.
Well, I mean, the first step would be is to go through all the tunnels that haven't collapsed yet and put rock bolts and mesh. At
I
least
think
that.
I think that would just trigger more collapses. I'd just say blow it all up and start from building
Right, yeah,
around.
sure, just nuke the
Well,
whole railroad.
Yeah,
just blow the tops off the tunnels and turn them into cuts instead.
TJ
nuke
Tunnels.
from
Yeah, we have a name
orbit.
for those. Anyway, if we want to talk about railroad silliness, let's talk about 1309.
Yeah, 1309. The big
It
city.
hasn't blown up yet.
It
It's a
hasn't blown up.
miracle.
It hasn't blown up.
It's
And
running.
in
It's
fact,
running trains. It still doesn't
Yeah.
have shrouding on the front cylinders. I don't know how it
Well-
hasn't fallen down the mountain yet, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, but it runs, has FRA approval to do so. So I think things are starting to look up at the Western Maryland.
I mean, I hope so. We have the other article about the whole leadership changes that happened a couple months back, and
Yeah, I was kind of like skimming over this. It seems like the new, like, I guess, what do they call it? I guess like new executive director. No, just as permanent leader. So what are you?
the new glorious leader of the WMSR.
And, yeah, but it looks like he's steering the place in the right direction, doing more event kind of trains, like dinner trains and ice cream trains and stuff like that. And those work really well. They bring in people that don't just want to do just the basic out and back train ride or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
And this is pretty intense. I mean,
I'll do ice cream trains.
the engine and 3 cars are running this morning. $3.5 million restoration. It says the largest Malay, world's largest operating Malay. Well, press X to doubt, but it is the only compound.
Well, no, it has to. I've never heard of a non-compound Malay.
I'm pretty sure the big boys are non-compound.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's a simple, but it's not a Malay.
Oh, right. This
It's
is getting into the...
It's articulated, but it's not a Malay.
Right,
It's
this
not
is getting
two
into...
Malays patent design.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a white bread foamer. If it has 2 sets of cylinders and it articulates, it's on one of them. It's a Malay to me. I feel like if you say Malay, most people aren't going to get down to the nitty gritty of what the patent is. But that is a very good point that I hadn't exactly considered. So the article is right then, isn't it? It's just the big boy is just a simple articulated.
Yeah.
I see.
Or to put it down is a Malay is a compound articulated.
Gotcha.
So most, but not all, Malays are compound articulated.
Okay.
But the big boy and like the Challenger and all that are simple articulated.
They're not Malays.
They are not Malays.
That's good to know. Now I can actually some people. You know what kind of train this is?
Actually,
Fuck! I should have.
actually, a lemur.
It begins regular operations. 1309 will be the only articulated rod in engine in action in the eastern U.S., the largest steam power in the east. UP's Big Boy operates on UP tracks and is simple articulated. Oh, it actually even gives that distinction down here in the article. That's great.
That's very great.
39 will be operated on 17 miles of the former Western Maryland. Blah, blah, blah. Stalled for funding at the end of 2019, and, for the last 4 years prior. In February 2020, Trains Magazine launched the Steam the Last Baldwin campaign. Readers responded with more than 275,000 in donations, plus another 50K from the John Emery Rail Heritage Trust. And as many of us may remember, it was steaming on New Year's of this year. And honestly, when are we going to see this? This is, the big boy is cool and all, but you can't ride behind the big boy.
I mean, you can if you have like $10,000.
Okay, yeah, you can if you suck off Ed Dickens, but
if you suck at Dickens,
okay, suck his Dickens.
Long.
Oh man, I know the title of the podcast is supposed to be Ellis Can't Read, but I kind of want to change it to Suck his Dickens.
I think this is a very good substitution.
I don't know how we haven't made that the title of a podcast before. I'm just saying. I feel like that's such an easy joke, and we've never gotten there. That's the joke I've wanted to make since I found out about Ed Dickens' existence. What the heck is this? Oh, is this more Impossible Railroad shenanigans?
Yeah, showing that Big Steam can run, in fact, on the Impossible Road. So you could hypothetically run Gevos on stacks on the Impossible Road.
Is this Big Steam or is this a lot of Little Steam? I'm seeing like 12 consolidations.
I mean, that looks to be pretty Big Steam.
They're pretty chunky consolidations. Also, I love this. I love this train. Goddamn. Half of the reason I want to see the Desert Railroad, the Desert Line reactivated is because I want to be able to take a train over it. Right now.
Oh my god! I just realized.
What?
The UP train has empty center beams on the front. How did it not derail?
Oh my god! I was gonna say to Kaiser, yeah, NS will let you run your steam engine provided you stringline it 3 times. That's the terms of their agreement.
Well, I don't know about that. The moment that the MRHS got their non-profit thing, NS immediately donated $3,000.
Oh, well, that's nice of them.
So, I don't know.
In fairness, $3,000 for a steam locomotive restoration and from a company like NS is like, hey, I found this between my couch cushions. You want some free money?
Yeah, but I think that that 116 would be a good backup for 611 when you can't take 611 certain places.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that one sighting in Strasbourg they tried to park it in. Good times. I'm surprised they haven't broken more things with 611.
Well, no, the other day, like the first weekend in November, I was talking to 611's fireman, and he said we have so many problems with that dang thing because it can't take corners.
Mm-hmm. I can believe it. It's
like
who could have
He said that when the last time they took it to I can't remember where he said, but they said they took it somewhere and it literally broke the rails.
God.
Yeah, it sounds like the Strasbourg parking lot, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, to be fair, that is also what you get when you run a big Northern on a track that barely can hold Ivan.
Yeah, it's almost like Strasbourg was designed for little engines.
Yeah.
But hey, that's the gift of Strasbourg and the curse of Strasbourg. They don't have a big line to deal with, so they don't spend all their money on track work. That's how they became the juggernaut that they are, if you ask me. Anyway.
What they should do is buy the Northeast Quarter and run it on the main line gobbles.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know what?
Don't forget to fill it with concrete.
Yeah, no, I got it. I got it covered. We got the trucks here. The place
Pennsylvania just.
Don't you think it's going to be kind of hard to explain to our grandchildren what fill it with concrete and run it on the main line means?
No,
Yeah,
because
the U.S. government just has to dedicate 15 civilian factories to Pennsylvania.
yeah, thank you. We're covering the United States in railroads. First things first. In No Step Back.
Yeah, just everything. Everywhere is supply hub. Everywhere is Chicago.
Everywhere the light touches is trains. Huh? There's no dark places. Anyway,
Looks over at the Soviet Union and Germany dying of infrastructure and lack thereof.
anyway, this is the second time we've talked about Hearts of Iron on this episode.
Exactly.
This
If
is
you can't tell
this
us,
is a train podcast. I think.
it has trains in it.
Not yet. It doesn't.
I mean, it technically still does.
It allegedly has trains. It has a little rail icon when you're moving troops fast.
Yeah.
So you want me to go ahead and talk about the Lone Ranger props, and we save Trains 2022 for last?
Yeah, I was trying to
Yep.
segue to that, but we kept getting distracted. I was trying to segue to things that we could actually buy. Or, well, we couldn't because they're already sold.
You can also buy No Step Back coming out in 2 days.
Thanks. We're not being paid for this, by the way. So, yeah,
Well,
these were from the
No,
Fillmore
it's
and
only
Western
one of them.
liquidation sale, which the Fillmore and Western was like Hollywood's railroad, basically. It was right outside of LA. And if you ever see any train scenes in like NCIS in particular comes to mind, they were filmed on the Fillmore and Western. So take it away, Kaiser.
So, I mean, looking at these, it only seems to be one locomotive from what I'm seeing.
That was both.
It sold for $125,000, which for a fake locomotive that, according to the seller, is used and in good working condition.
Ran when parked.
Yeah, by good working condition they mean it rolls, because these weren't real engines.
I know they weren't real engines.
I know. I'm telling the viewers in case the people are unfamiliar. I'm telling all three of the viewers in case they're unfamiliar with the filming of the Lone Ranger. I mean, do some research into it. It's really cool. I love that movie, even though it's it's got its problems. But
yeah, the main problem in my mind is, other than the fact it's a odd movie, or in the locomotive, or in the train way. The thing I have a problem with is why do they have 1890s locomotives in the 1850s?
yeah, I don't know.
What they need to do is replace all the engines with the B&O Master Race, like 080s that I took to the pre-1860s around.
Might I also bring your attention to this Bachman coal load?
Oh no!
If the picture will go through the fake coal in this. No, it's not Bachman. It's River Rossi. The fake coal in this tender looks like it came out of a River Rossi model.
Yeah, it's just a pile of amalgamated rocks.
No, it's not even rock. It just looks like store-bought model railroad coal load.
Yeah, it does. It does. It looks. Let me show the audience because now I see exactly what you mean. It's like.
Can you put a picture of it in the chat?
Yeah, hold on.
Working.
Well, it's if you go to the first link, and then click on.
I'll put a picture of it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Because I can't.
No, I already did.
Oh, you did. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because I can't look at the listing. Yeah, that is literally a fucking River Rossi
It's
coal.
literally River Rossi coal load.
Hey, it's free pickup. You don't have to pay for shipping on this.
Could they just not get some rocks and spray paint them black?
I mean, isn't that what you guys do?
It's rocks. I think it's just wood.
Bruh.
I think it's like machined down wood. Not to mention the trucks are weird on this. Like, yeah, they're trucks, but they're like, something's off about them. Random gauges on the cab.
They're weird. They're weird props.
Yeah, but let me send this picture real quick of the random gauge in the middle of the cat, or in the middle of the back head. It's in the
It's the
chat.
backhead gauge. It measures the backhead. It tells you how much backhead you're getting from Ed Dickens.
Next episode, just randomly, you gotta name it Ed Dickens Backhead.
Ed Dickens backhead. It's like when you're owed head, you get backhead.
So is that what it calls when Ed Dickens section?
It's the return. Anyway, we need to move on from this. Yeah, so they sold these engines. The Fillmore and Western is liquidating. I have no idea what's going to happen to it after that. We really should probably keep an eye out on the news for what happens, because that was a fairly important railroad as far as movie making goes. I think the main consequence of this is we'll be seeing a lot fewer train scenes in like the mid-level productions by television channel companies, so like CBS and Fox, etc. Anyway,
I gotta wonder though. I wonder who bought it.
I don't know. Well, it's being liquidated. I don't know if anybody bought it. Oh, what, the engines?
Yeah, the engines. I wonder who bought it. Like,
Yeah, I've got no idea.
what happened to it? Because it's made out of wood, as far as I know. Or it's made out of wood and sheet metal. I hope they didn't just like accidentally set it on fire, as you do in California.
It's gone, reduced to ashes.
Well, I guess on to Trains 2022.
Yeah, this is the moment we've been waiting for. TJ, you
Why
want to
they needed a new one, I don't know, but
tell us the new one because it's next year. Ooh. Oh.
Yeah, so in a twist of events, Trains has gone from its new era roots of promising us a new game and hopefully sticking with that game for a while. They disappointed us yet again. Whoa, what is this?
What?
Oh, branch line train on the cam.
Oh, okay.
Um,
okay. Yeah, it's going up the branch.
I was excited when they revealed the subscription model for Trains 2019 because I assumed it meant more longevity to the game. I thought it was going to be more of an engine that they base games off of, they base upgrades to the game off of, and so the subscription model prevented them from making a new game every year. But apparently that's not the case. Well, I don't know what the point of the subscription model would be now.
Well,
the 22 game is coming out.
I would assume, and I'm not sure how much we know about this yet, so correct me if I'm wrong if you read something contrary. I know there's not a lot of details out there. But,
no, I know nothing beyond the website coming soon.
Okay. See, so when they brought us the subscription model and they said, if you do the subscription model, you'll get early access to the features that we're going to bundle and put into future content releases. We all sort of assumed and they sort of implied that they'd be add-ons to 2019. But if the subscription plan includes ownership of 2022 without changing the cost, isn't that basically what they did, just by a different name?
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, if that ends up being the case, then I think I'll be pretty impressed. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's not going to be the case.
Well, to me, sorry, you go on.
Well,
I interrupt you.
I do want to know what you have to say. I'm just thinking, doesn't the gold subscription model now, and I have it, so I should know what's in it, but I already bought 2019 before I started doing the subscription. Doesn't it include the game if you don't already have the game?
Yeah, it does.
So it makes sense to me that you're just going to get the game with this continued subscription. I can't imagine that they're going to change the price of it.
So what would they do? end your access to 2019 and update you to 2022?
I mean, hell, maybe you'll be able to access both. That's a good
Well,
question.
because like wouldn't that then raise the cost of the subscription because you're paying for two games rather than just one?
I
And
suppose.
when is N3V going to create their own Steam of trains where you subscribe to the streaming service and you can play any of them like Game Pass?
That would honestly be a great
That would be
idea.
pretty cool,
It
actually.
would. I could see them doing it like they start adding other games onto the gold subscription. Like you can go back and do all the old ones. I mentioned this is an aside, but I mentioned during the latest under construction because we were talking about iPortals. How I believe it was Matt who had done the experimentation and found out that you can send trains forward in time. Like you can iPortal a train from 2006 to 2012, but not backwards, not from 2012 back to '06. And so I
But
said,
you,
how many versions of trains can I install, run at the same time, and send a train between? So I send a train, it goes into the iPortal in '06, it comes out in 12, it goes into a different one, it comes out in 10, it goes into a different one, it comes out in 19, or yeah, in 19. And then it
wait,
comes,
you can actually do that?
I hypothetically, based on what I was being told in under construction, yes, you can theoretically do that.
Bruh.
And I want to try it. I really do. It would mean I would have to install all the old versions of trains. But hey, if we have Trains Pass coming soon, then maybe I won't have to. But it does seem to me like if they're pushing the subscription service, and they have been, and this is sort of the ultimate. Well, we're bundling all the new features together. You guys have been previewing and putting them into a new title because I don't know, maybe the code of 2019 wasn't up to handling what they wanted to do, and we'll come around to that in a minute. But if the subscription service is going to get you the new game, which I can't imagine that it wouldn't, then they've basically fulfilled their original premise. It's just titled weird. But Kaiser, what were you saying?
It was just my thing about, like, why exactly do you need a new game every year?
I mean,
Type thing, because
It's been
But
4 years
we had
since 19
trains-
came out.
we had Trains 2009, and then there was there's 2006, 2009, 2012. Then it skipped to what, like
10. So it went from 06 to Ultimate Collection to 08 to 09 to 10 to 12 to 10, which is 2014, 19, which was 2018, and now 22, which is going to be in 22. So they've gone from a game every year to about every 4 years now.
So I'm wondering when they're actually going to stop or get to the point where they say, "Hey, we don't need to come out with a game, so let's just stick with the one we made and just upgrade it like everybody else does with their game, unless you're a first-person shooter."
well, not everybody else does that.
No, but the thing is with 19 to 10 to 22, they're completely reworking most of the game from like this base code up, which is almost going to be impossible to do if you try and just rework 19.
Yeah, I feel like
So I
they
can
have.
understand.
I feel like they have
So
to
it's
give it a new
kinda-
release.
So it's kind of like how Minecraft Java is different from Minecraft Bedrock, and the only reason is there's two different versions because they couldn't upgrade Java to be like Bedrock.
Yeah, though they couldn't originally. I mean, if we're going to dig into that, it's because they couldn't put Java on the consoles. They just couldn't make it run the same way. And then from there, they just started building the game like from the beginning in C++. But point is, I do feel like that they're probably doing this because the changes they wanted to make with combining Driver and Surveyor, and eventually probably, they've teased Surveyor 2.0 and like massively multiplayer Surveyor and stuff like that, which we
I
have
believe-
a taste of that, but
I believe Surveyor 2.0 and MPS for everyone is already confirmed for 2022.
yeah, see, and I would understand if that sort of dramatic change can't come as a patch to 19.
But it did for the beta, though.
It did, but the beta works, but it's not
Ish.
polished.
Yeah, they probably would have to release something that isn't polished and can't really work to its full extent if they were to continue on from where. Because I'm sure if they could, because the dev team consists of like 5 people, they would continue to build on the code they already have instead of having to work from scratch, because that's such a time-consuming process. So I'm sure there's a legit reason on why they have to rework the game.
Yeah, and honestly, I would stand to believe that that reason isn't 100%. Well, we want people to pay for another game. I know you rattled off all the Trains releases, but I want to point out some of those were not like full Trains releases as we understand them, right?
Yeah.
Like 10 was just Driver, wasn't it? Just as an example.
No, 10 did have Surveyor.
Or maybe it was 9. I don't know. I know one of them was like half a game. I didn't get it.
No, there was one where you could do there was one where you could get just the engineer edition.
Ah, yeah, okay.
I think it was a version of 06. Because I know what you're talking about.
I think that was
I have
09.
it.
Yeah, I think that was 9 as well.
No, yeah, you're right. I think there was like a version of 06 that did that too, I think.
But also, those older games, I mean, that's only 11 years ago. I say only. But it is still in an era of, like, you couldn't release gigantic patches for your games because people just didn't have the internet capacity to download them.
Mhm.
So you couldn't put out, like, a huge, oh, crap, we put out our game and it's broken. Here's a huge, like, reconstruction of the code. Sorry about that. Or, hey, we found some things we wanted to add. Like, imagine if 06 came without Surveyor and then they added it afterward in some sort of patch. That would have been, I mean, it would have been incredible, but it also might have been catastrophic because of just how much it's changing of the game. And I would wager that some of it is because of that, and the other half of it is, I mean, reasonably that, hey, not everyone got on board with the subscription system, and we need to make more money. So we're going to put out, we've got to put out something, whether that's going to be a patch that you pay for and adds all these features, or, in this case, because they probably couldn't do it as a patch, a new game,
Well, now that you say that, I'm starting to realize, yeah, I understand that. My internet won't even run Tane. My computer won't run Tane. I can download it, but it won't run it.
Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah.
I'm stuck using TRS 12.
12 is still a good game.
12 is decent. I don't know how much you can't run Tane.
It lags.
I'm tempted
To be fair,
go ahead.
I was able to run 12 perfectly fine on my old computer, but it could not run Tane on the lowest of low settings at like more than 3 FPS.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand where Kaiser's coming from.
Tane was a mess. I've said it before and I'll say it again. 19 is an improvement on Tane in every single way. I know some people have had some tougher times running it, but it seems like the vast majority of people, 19 runs better than Tane in a measurable way.
Yes, it does.
So, yeah, that's my advice to people who can't run Tane. And I'm not saying, oh, you should just go and buy a game and not be sure if you run it, especially if it's following onto Tane where you had the exact same problem. But
So I'd just wait to 2022 to come out at this rate.
Yeah, exactly. Get the subscription package, see if you get 2022. Or, if you get 2022, get the subscription package, and maybe you'll also get 19.
Nah, I'm saving up for Railroads Online.
Worth it.
Let's
Except for the
see if
glitch that we're
Railroads
having right
Online
now.
bakes my potato computer.
Yeah, same. I love when I load into Railroads Online and my computer makes the same sound it does when I load into Mason Valley on Tolbrand, which is the slow spooling up of a jet engine. It's like,
Don't worry, we asked Tyler when a PSP port of Oro was
Oh my
coming.
You what?
you guys are terrible.
Tyler, to
We need to stop being mean to Tyler because I need him for Locomotive Royale.
But, like, when can we expect a KFC console version?
I was gonna say, it's the way the memes have been going about Railroads Online is gonna be like how Doom. If as the next time every time something comes out that's electronic, they always ask, "Can you run Doom on it?"
Yeah, can you run Doom? Can you run
Intense
Crisis?
Fries.
Can it run Crisis? Can it run Minecraft?
Can it run Railroads Online?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Minecraft is the pretty, I'd want to say more modern benchmark.
I mean, it's a pretty medium benchmark. It's nice to.
Yeah.
Well, you could literally run Doom. I saw somebody beat the first Doom on a Samsung refrigerator.
I saw someone building a Doom clone in Factorio using the in-game adding machines and stuff.
I've
It's
seen someone
insane.
code the entirety of a Pokemon game in Minecraft with command blocks. Not like the Minecraft Pokemon mod where it's 3D. No, they coded the entirety of like Pokemon Gold on like a Game Boy in the game and had you play on that Game Boy in Minecraft.
People have too much time on their hands.
And that's going to be my termination because that's a good ass video.
Okay, yeah, that's fantastic. Oh, I'm glad we get to talk about 2022. We'll certainly be hearing more about this as it comes out, but this is one of our most topical and, I mean, honestly, one of our biggest things that we all share. So it's a good thing to talk about. And with that, we should probably come around to the end. I've got maintenance away. Is there anything channel or podcast related that needs to be announced? Well, there's the link to the Iron Horseman community channel that's down there. I try to put out a video opposite the Terminus podcast. It's going to be something simple. Last weekend it was a video of Lafayette barking at the boiler guy, which has gotten 550 views since then, which makes me happy. But in addition to that, I do plan to do a stream in Railroute, probably on the community channel, but maybe on my own, because there's a ongoing competition for high score on the new map on the Railroute Discord. So I might give that a shot. I'm not that great at the game, but I do enjoy it a lot, so I'm going to give it a shot. And, of course, tune into my other series, Railroads Online, Locomotive Royale, on which Kaiser is often featured, as is East.
Hi.
And
I won't be featured this next Loco Royale episode, but I will the next.
Yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you again for sure.
In which I'm ditching AT&N 401. Somebody can deal with that themselves.
Is it a piece of junk?
Yeah, you could call it that.
Okay, that was a genuine question. I didn't know if it was a piece of junk or not.
I'm not familiar with this.
Yeah, you can call it a piece of junk. It'll fit in that category.
It looks a little oofed. It looks a little worse for wear. Oh well, maybe that's an old picture of it. Anyway. Is that it? I need to ask if anybody else has any advertisements.
Latest trend on Amtrak.
That's
Soon
not
TM.
That's okay. Good to know, TJ. Maybe next time we'll get to know what his secret project is or something.
Probably for the Christmas, I might have some advertisements. Might have some projects coming out, but the semester right now, this is grind time. This is where the projects get finished. So.
Yep.
Yeah, good luck at Godspeed with that. But hopefully we'll be able to take some time off. Maybe next episode, you and I'll be talking about our adventures to Essex and the WWF over Thanksgiving.
I saw some nice pictures of 97 and 40, so I'll leave it at that.
Ooh, all right. In that case, yes, the latest train on Amtrak. What are our guesses?
Uh,
It's gonna be tough to find. What the heck?
I guess the National Limited, but that sort of thing anymore.
Sad face.
The
Like if you
Crescent?
cry every time.
My
I'm
guess
crying
is the
so hard.
Crescent. But
The Crescent is a good guess. It hasn't been guessed in a while, but it's one that always pops into my head.
Okay. Go eastbound Lakeshore Limited to Boston.
Okay, Eastbound Lakeshore Limited, Boston.
Ooh,
There's
I don't
also
think
the
so.
Amtrak feed is stale, so it's going to be a little bit late. Let's see, Eastbound Lakeshore Limited to Boston. Is this one? I don't think it's on system yet. As of this, this you can have the other direction.
wait,
Okay,
hold
okay.
up. I think I made a mistake. The Crescent ran yesterday.
Well, there's still one on this map.
Oh.
The feed is a couple hours stale, but there is one here. East TJ,
Go
you
with
guys got one?
4.
4? Okay, that's a good call. Got one, TJ.
The Eastbound Builder.
Eastbound Empire Builder. All right. So the Eastbound Empire Builder, that's number 8. Well, there's 2 of them on system. One of them is 16 minutes late. Its counterpart is 13 minutes late, and there's another that's 2 hours and 50 minutes late. This was in Wolf Point, Montana. So that's a pretty late train, but it's not the latest train in Amtrak. The Southwest Chief to Chicago is 1 hour and 35 minutes late. That's train number 4. The Lakeshore Limited, the only one on system, is 7 minutes late at Utica, picking up some steamed hams. And the Crescent is 1 hour and 41 minutes late at Anniston, Alabama. So, those are some late trains. Well, a good number of them are late, but the latest train in Amtrak is train number 76, which is the Piedmont. It runs from Charlotte, North Carolina to Raleigh, North Carolina. It managed to pick up 4.5 hours of delay
Ooh.
when it was halfway through its run.
Oof.
Yeah, ouch. 4.5 hours in Burlington, North Carolina. I have no idea what happened to this poor train. It picked it up in chunks, too. It was on time, and then it picked up 2.5 hours of delay, and then it picked up another 2 hours of delay between that stop and the next. They hit a
Wait,
car.
which train's the latest?
The latest train on Amtrak, as according to this stale feed, is the Piedmont train 76.
I was looking on, and I just opened up the SM tracker,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a completely different thing than you have.
What is your?
My latest is Capital Limited, 5 hours late.
Oh, really? Oh, is it hiding under here somewhere? Oh, the capital punishment for me is showing as normal, but then again, my feed is stale. What time is your feed?
Mine's
top
also
one.
stuck at 7 a.m.
Oh, okay, that's weird. Yeah, mine's 9:46 p.m. So,
Oh.
needless to say, it's having some problems. But that was the latest train in Amtrak. Let's see. I need to find something for my termination real quick. Usually I just grab something little to toss in here, but I don't really have
Grab your-
anything. I don't really have anything from.
You said, according to the thing above it, it said it could be anything, right?
Oh yeah, it can be just about anything. You can put just about whatever you want. That's why I usually grab a small piece of news that I didn't get to cover. And I honestly, nothing here is necessarily jumping out at me. But yeah, what can I say? Railroads Online is a very unique and wonderful game. So, let me just throw this in the terminations. No points for anybody. Nobody did anything particularly reprehensible this episode. Thanks for that. East, you have this
What can I
Pokemon
do to
thing.
earn a point in like 30 seconds?
Yeah, Pokemon and Minecraft.
Pokemon Pokemon Yellow is the only Pokemon that I've played.
I have a very large vocabulary of swear words. Do you want me to open that library up?
No, thank you, General Patton.
All of them would be in German, so they'd be fine.
TJ?
My termination is stay in school.
Stay in drugs, don't do school. Jader, what is this?
This, I found it, well, it was uploaded today, actually, and I haven't watched all of it, but it's like just a random compilation of films from the 50s and early 60s of Columbus and the surrounding area.
That's cool.
And I've watched about 5 minutes of it. And there's some really, really cool stuff in there. Like there's like when the general made like a tour of the country, there's a couple clips of that in here. I didn't know it came here.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. I forget when it did. It's sometime in the 60s, but there's some clips of ORM number 1 moving 578 around, which I didn't know there was any film of that ever. There's a clip of one of the, I don't know if it's ORM steeple cab number 2, because there were 2 of them, but it's one of them being moved around by a fireless engine. I don't know if it's 1 or 2, but it's one of them.
There's dual gauge in here. Can you explain?
Where?
I just saw it. I swear to God, I just saw it. Where the heck?
Did you just click to a random spot?
Yeah, I did. Hold on. It's at like 3550. It's just a kid looking at a dual gauge switch.
What the hell?
Yeah, what?
I'm as confused as you.
Yeah, alright, well, we'll have to investigate that. I love how this is all broken up into sections, too, though. I appreciate when video makers do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta throw in the camera for this, too. We were at the Norwalk Railcam, which... Norwalk, Rhode Island, soon TM. Stage the troops. And we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. And I'd like to thank...
Bye-bye.
Sorry, I forgot to give the thanks. I'd like to thank Virtual
Yeah, I was
Railfan
gonna
for not
say,
giving us copyright strikes. I'd like to thank all of you guys for coming on the show. I'd like to thank Steve and
Oh my
Wes
god, it's a BL2
for the
too.
Loco Base. With
Holy fuck, those made it.
You
Those
never
worked, dude.
said-
Holy fuck.
You never said my termination. You kind of just skipped me.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. You were after Jader. I copied and pasted yours, and I was distracted by the 3-point switch or the dual gauge switch. Go ahead, Kaiser.
Ed Dickens backhead.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my god, it's a
Bye.
BL2.